Okay, we should be back now. That was fast. And I mean really fast. Okay, now we'll load into a new empty toy box and see what happens. Okay, we got the same loading screen as before, but it's actually loading this time.
The almighty Sarkis has returned.
Heck yeah.
General Skywalker here. Let's see some action.
Okay, so we'll probably be using a lot of building sets group 6. We probably won't be using a lot of Agrabah stuff. I also don't see us using a ton of the Disney Castle stuff. Maybe just this floor. That's what I used for the Jedi Temple build. We're probably going to use mostly Dunbrock pieces and basic blocks. So, because this arch would be really cool for like hallways and corridors. So we'll probably use this quite a bit. We might use the gate. We'll probably use the bridge traps, though, for like obstacles and stuff. Is there anything in group 4 we need? Perhaps like a village or something we could build out of that.
So I checked to see how many minutes was the previous stream and it was 8:33 face with tears of joy.
Yeah, it said you can't get to the 10-minute mark. Can't monetize it. Not that I'm monetizing anything anyway. It's a shame you can't move it up half a block. I don't think it liked that based on the sound effect it made. Building a dungeon in 8 minutes, yes. I gotta rename that stream now. You know what's weird about this? It just covers the spawn point up completely, but you could actually put as many in here as you want. It says it's like next to it. It's not. You could just merge them. So you could just do that. And you could do that too. It's just weird. It's probably one of the weirdest building pieces in the whole game. We might use these stairs for something. Okay, we'll keep our tab on this. On my Xbox save, I used these in the dungeon. It didn't really fit the color scheme too well, but it fit the aesthetic.
Were you able to check out the recent Leo match I shared in the Alliance?
I did see that it was there, but I haven't had the chance to check it out yet. I need to go into the Alliance and just check out some matches sometime. Luckily, I've been keeping up with the Corruption Zone this time. I had to wait till the last minute to get Oracos because I didn't have VIP. And I bought it literally the last day. That way I can get Oraco and Justin's. And I've been keeping up with Justin's pretty nicely. We probably just need those stairs that I was referring to earlier, if we're going to use them at all. So we'll probably keep our tab on this. Same with these. They're like very different in shade. And we'll probably use the Dunbrock ones the most. So we have quite a variety of stairs.
To you when you do watch the matches, the ending was awesome.
Oh, I'd imagine. I can't wait. Don't think there's anything in the city building sets. We might use some of these. This stuff would look cool on like the ceilings or close to the ceiling, like upper wall. Kind of has that ornamental feel to it. Okay, we're going to be using a lot of gameplay toys because we're going to use the collectible items. We might use these. Well, the gold probably won't fit the aesthetic of our build here. We'll probably use the Dunbrock ones instead. like these. Because I kind of have an idea for a specific room that may or may not be showcased or even featured in this stream, like in these streams or the video showcasing it. I kind of want to reuse this toy box when we get it done. I've got a vague idea of what I could do with it to kind of celebrate what we're going to be doing next year. So I'm going to leave that as vague as that.
The shop where you can get 120 shards of Orico, which is level 3 or almost close to level 4, I think.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I mean, as if Wales didn't already max him out on day 1. Oh, the tikis, I don't actually use these a whole lot. I don't think I've ever used them, at least on this save file, so I might try to make a room with them. So many options, actually. Okay, we'll definitely be using a lot of basic blocks though, so that's something. And I have an idea for atmosphere, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, well let's just start building rooms. I'm gonna pull up some pictures on my phone here, so I can get an idea of what I want to do. I'll pull up that community post where I had pictures of the Zelda dungeons. Okay, so probably going to use either these or the Dumbrock ones. Let's compare the shapes. I feel like the Dumbrock ones go lower down. Okay, that might make it feel a little more claustrophobic. That might be good for our aesthetic. That juts out a little bit. We might actually use both of them, both types, like this, because there is a basic block texture for the Dumbrock stonework, or at least the sides of it, maybe not the floor. It's a little smaller compared to the actual Dumbrock stonework.
So
The Death Star texture is kind of like that.
Look like?
We'll get around to that. I think we're just going to build random rooms and see just how it melts together. So that looks kind of cool. I mean, we could put in a few of these before having like the archway.
I see.
We'll set the theme. And then we'll move back by 3. Whoa. No. There we go. It's a fast way of doing it. Doesn't look good from the outside. Looks alright from here. If I do it like this, though... Ooh, that looks pretty good. That looks very good, actually. I like that a lot. And then for the floors, if we go with this design, of course it's like 5 blocks, so I can't really do the 3x3s, like 2 of them. Unless I did them like here and then I put like the 1x1s down here. But we're not going to use that texture for the floor design. We'll probably... Well, that probably wouldn't work. That's too bright. You would have thought that would have been dark enough. That's too bright. We're not even going to try that. Might have to go with dungeon, actually. Let's see how that looks. Of course, the lighting of the toy box will also determine how well it melds together. Actually, the floor kind of melds with the borders of the archways So I think that actually works rather well. Might turn that though. And then okay. That looks good. Let's put a sky changer in here. Okay, Finding Dory nighttime. A little too blue, a little too dark on the wall. We'll see about the daytime one. It might be too bright. Actually, it makes the floor brighter than the edge.
It's a lot more gluey.
Yeah. Say, we want this to be dark. It's a good color, but too bright. Then again, we haven't even built the rooms around this yet, so we haven't had the light suffocated from that corridor yet. But even so, we're going to test it out. See, without the light, it looks good. See how it changed the brightness, if you will, of the basic block, but not really the archway too much. So, see, in the basic, the default sky, the bright bricks right there had the perfect. They matched the floor perfectly. Now it doesn't. That should have changed it. That's a dash attack. That should have done something. That looks pretty good. It's kind of realistic, you know. That's too blue, too bright on the floor. That's definitely too bright. I do have a couple skies in mind for this. That's definitely not one of them. That's not terrible, but I just use this for the Jedi Temple world. Definitely not... well... nah, it's too... pinkish? I don't know if that's how you describe it. It's, not the right lighting. Definitely not the right lighting. Nope. Surprised that reached. Nope, too bright. Nope. Too saturated. Ooh. Alright, the floor doesn't look great with it, but the walls, I kind of like that aesthetic. Maybe for a different room we can like change the sky depending on where you're at. Okay, that's more of a blue wash. Unfortunately, I do not. We'll have to randomize the toy dispenser for that. Luckily, we don't have any like plants or terrain set to a theme, so we can actually probably mess around with that. But I feel like that would be too bright for this corridor, but we can see how it looks. Both of those were too bright. No for that one. No. See, now the colors are lining up again. But it's too bright. That's definitely not a sky we would use for a dungeon world. This is what we use for the first obstacle course. I kind of like that. I don't even know anymore. Kinda, yeah. Try to get that aesthetic, the semi-realistic, kind of dark, gritty tone to it. Although for a cartoony game like this, it's kind of hard to achieve. That, I don't know why it's bright up on the ceiling, but I do kind of like the look of this. This is one of the ones that I thought I like, so we'll keep this in mind. Not this one. It's surprisingly bright for the night. That's the brightest Sky Dome in the entire game. Like, look at my eyes just looking at this. We're looking for dark and gritty. There we go. That's better, but not what we're looking for. I'm really critiquing these Sky Domes here. The Sky Dome itself is probably one of the most realistic in the game, but we're not going to be really seeing the Sky Dome, so I don't know, and it's not as dark as I wanted it to be. Of course, it could always be darker. Don't like how bright the floor is there. Nope, that's pretty close to the default. That's pretty good lighting. It's pretty good atmosphere. I like that. This is what I meant when I say it could always be darker. You can't even see the wall. Why did my phone turn off all of a sudden? That's what I'm watching the stream on. It shouldn't have done that.
That's too dark, face with tears of joy.
That's definitely too dark. Although, once we reach a certain level of the dungeon, I might actually change the sky to this to build atmosphere. But I don't think we're going to use it in the main part that you guys are going to see. I'm thinking about... Okay, I guess I'm going to reveal a little bit more. I'm thinking about reusing this toy box for Halloween, for the Halloween event. I'm thinking about building a sequence that you guys aren't going to see for a while. And it's going to have like a really cinematic video that comes out of it. Kind of like Battle of the Heroes Reimagined, but obviously not that tone. It's pretty cool. I don't know why.
Like where this is heading.
Yeah, of course you're not going to see this for another... It's June, right? So another 4 months? I thought it was farther away than that. It feels like it's March to me. It feels like Halloween's like 7 months away. It's not. It's like 4. So actually, us building this dungeon now for the Halloween event isn't that far out of the question, or isn't even that unrealistic, because as you guys know, Mustafar took me 6 months to build, so of course this isn't going to be nearly as detailed as that. This isn't going to be like a one-to-one recreation attempt, but I'm going to try to get this as detailed as I can get it, you know. Because we're building this from scratch. Okay, I kind of like this. Maybe we could use this for the upper levels. It looks like a fairly realistic atmosphere, kind of lighting.
We're gonna basically see it 4 days after my birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday in November? I'd say, because I'll probably upload the video of this before Halloween, but I'm probably going to make a second video with this same world, just with a new couple of rooms for Halloween. Basically, we're just going to go through the dungeon, complete it, and then the other video, I'm going to find like a secret passageway leading down to a deeper level of dungeon, and it leads to like a very dramatic moment.
27th and Halloween is on the 31st of October.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I thought 4 days after Halloween. That's not at all what you said. I was going the wrong direction on the calendar. That's too bright. Okay, so I have a general idea. Ooh. That doesn't fit the color scheme, but I like the lighting. We might keep that in mind for a future toy box.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. I just read it wrong. That's way too blue, way too purple. That's... Okay, so I've narrowed it down to 3. We're going to use a Dumbrock Sky for the upper levels of the dungeon, probably closer to the entrance. And the deeper down we go, the darker it gets. We're probably going to go to the Syndrome's Takeover Sky, which is that blue stormy sky that I use for more toy boxes than you'd think. I used it for Mandalore and for Battle of the Heroes Reimagined. Or Mustafar. But I think it's just a really good sky, so I'm going to reuse it for this one too. And then at the deepest point, or what you think is the deepest point, we'll go to pitch black. And then you reach the main room and it turns red with the Syndrome Volcano Sky. Let me turn this back here. Alright, we'll go to 3.0. Okay, so the main one that I'm going to use through most of this is going to be this sky, because I really like the aesthetic in these corridors. So we're going to change it back to the default, and we're going to get rid of this for now. Okay, so I really like this corridor design. We'll remember this for later. Okay, we'll get rid of that for now.
Disney Infinity.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential, but it was just an oversaturated market, the Toys to Life genre of games. It was everywhere. Before we continue, let's take a look at some plant textures that we could use for, like, decoration. We'll do that. Put a corner here. Put another corner here. Do that, I don't know. I'm just putting them around here. Because we're not gonna have them in this area, like, at the end.
Lothar, but I realized a very important issue.
Oh, yeah? What would that be?
That
Oh.
I'm poor.
Same, bro. Same. Yeah, $100 is quite a bit to cough up, isn't it? Then again, I kind of had to do that for Eternal Rangers, but it was Eternal Rangers. It was the last Heroes of the Grid expansion. I kind of had to. I was obligated. Okay. I used some of these for the Jedi Temple that I built for Yoda and the Lost Temple. Actually, I used most of these. Did I use all of these, actually? I did use all of these. Yeah. These pillars were in the corridor leading into the temple itself. This was like decoration out front on top of the entrance. I believe this was in the main courtyard, and the rest were just kind of scattered around. This was meant to be in front of the wall that got destroyed by the battle droids, but they just kept walking into it with the marching orders, which I had to have, otherwise they wouldn't have walked down the cave. Yeah, well, mobile games are usually pretty pay to win, pretty greedy. So you can't get too mad at them. They're just
The Marvel characters of Disney Infinity.
Oh yeah. So the monolith ruins, that looks pretty good. We'll keep those in mind. These are more meant to be outdoorsy kind of decorations. We'll probably leave these out. Then again, most of these are probably going to be outdoorsy. I can see myself using most of these, though, in the dungeon, so we'll keep those in mind. Those are probably the strongest contenders, though. Madison Island terrain. A lot of these are super futuristic, but some of them are actually just rocks, just rubble. And I feel like I could use that towards the end of the dungeon, in the main room. So, we'll probably use those 4 rock debris pieces at some point. I just gotta remember which pieces they are, you know. That's a little too bright, and I don't think it's the right color scheme for the theme of the dungeon we're going to go with here. So we'll definitely use the Lost Empire Monolith Ruins, and we'll use some of the Nomadison Island stuff. So that would be... Okay, Fantasy Terrain 3. Is that 4 or 5? That's 5. So 3, 5, Strip 2, and Corner 1? Corner 1.
I found out the hidden meaning of Nomadison Island.
Oh, yeah? So Strip 2, Corner 1, and 3, 5. Keep that in mind for whenever we get around to using the plan textures. No man is an island. True. There's also a hidden meaning to island. Because you have... There's 2 types of land. There's island and notland. Island and notland. Island and notland. Water is notland. Okay, so actually let me make a note for these.
I was about to say, is there a way you can save all this important information, because there was a lot we uncovered.
Yeah. Oh, this is nothing compared to our Zonai research. Wait, just you wait. That's, then again, I've already done most of the work, a year ago. So, we're just gonna revisit my research. But we're probably gonna find a ton more when we replay the game. Because when I was researching the Zonai, I didn't replay any of those Zelda games. I just went back in. I kind of skimmed through them to see if there were important story beats that I missed after I beat the story, because most of what I was looking for the research was just side quest stuff, in world, like environmental storytelling.
The Kingdom on my Switch. I just haven't started it yet.
Yeah. Have you gone through Breath of the Wild yet? Or before? Because if you play through Breath of the Wild and its DLC and complete the Champion's Ballad DLC, you actually get a little Easter egg in Tears of the Kingdom if your save files are both on your Switch. Okay, so that's Fantasy Terrain 3, 5, Corner 1, and Strip 2. I've pretty much got that memorized, but I do have that pinned in a message to myself, kind of as a little side note. We're going to use the Ancient Monolith Ruins, or the Lost Empire Monolith Ruins. Most, if not all of it, duplicate those specified terrain pieces.
I just skipped straight to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. I don't blame you. The connections aren't numerous. There's a few. There aren't as many as Zelda fans hoped there'd be. They kind of faintly allude to the events of Breath of the Wild in certain scenes and stuff, but like they never really mention it all too often. Okay, so we have it designed for the corridors. I think it depends on the order you do stuff in. I will say, out of the 4 dungeons, the Lightning Temple is probably the hardest boss-wise. Well, maybe dungeon-wise, too. I think the puzzles on that were pretty tricky sometimes, but... well, no, I gotta say the hardest temple to beat, probably the intended way, was probably the Fire Temple, because I just kept getting lost on the minecart rails, and you'll probably see that when we play through it next year. It's just super open air, and they kind of... The whole point of Tears of the Kingdom is they let you do whatever you want to solve puzzles. The problem I have with the Fire Temple, even though I really like it, is that it's too open air. You don't really know what they wanted you to do. And it's really easy to get lost in that thing, so I just ended up making the hover bike, as you see a lot of Tears of the Kingdom players do, and just fly around the rooms. Yeah, it is. Yep. Let's see. That looks really good. That looks really good. Actually, like that, we're not going to use this stonework. Well, we might. That's a really good shape.
Do you have on top?
Oh, an unhealthy amount, easily. But I haven't looked. When was the last time I was on? Well, the last time I was on my Switch was when I last tried to stream Star Wars Hunters, but my capture card didn't want to cooperate. I still got to figure out what the heck's going on with that thing. I have... Actually, let me pull it out and check. I have an idea of how many hours I have. I don't know how accurate it is. Maybe I'm mixing up with Breath of the Wild. Let me see. My hours on Breath of the Wild. Okay. Well, that's way less than I thought, because I played it on another Switch. Breath of the Wild on this Switch, 165 hours. Tears of the Kingdom, 435. Yeah. Now,
Actually,
keep in mind...
right next to me. I can just check.
Keep in mind, I have touched grass since I was last on.
NVM. Holy cow, Link.
Yeah, holy cow, Link is right. Star Wars Hunters, I only have 80 hours. That's way less than I thought. Lego Skywalker Saga, 155. That's how many... That's actually the first time I played through the game. How much grass? Most of it was fake. Most of it was digital. Some of it was real, though. Mario Maker 2, 200 hours. Smash Ultimate, 470. So Tears of the Kingdom has almost caught up with Smash Ultimate for me. And I've played Smash Ultimate pretty much since it came out. It was like week 1. Your highest hours? I see 3 hours on Battle for the Grid. Heck yeah. 80 hours on Speedstorm. 820 on YouTube. Those are rookie numbers, though. I have reached, on YouTube, 2,450 hours on YouTube. Of course, that's... Granted, I've been watching it since 2019 on the Switch. And then I switched over to the PS5 when I got that, because it's higher quality. Fall Guys, 450. Jeez, is that the one? It looks like it is. I'm scrolling down and none of them come close. I see a 25 hours. I see 60 hours. 450.
Pretty much
That's
nailed.
crazy. That's more than Tears of the Kingdom for me, and almost as much as Smash Ultimate for me. That is nuts. So yeah, I've been around the block in Tears of the Kingdom. Over 400 hours on that. And I don't even know how many in Breath of the Wild, because, like I said, I played it on another Switch before I played it on my recent one. So who knows how long I've actually played Breath of the Wild for. But yeah. The shape of this room is pretty interesting. Let me recolor this to be Dunbrock. Well. I don't love it. I might actually go back to the dungeon texture, honestly. I feel like that was better for this room. Yeah, I feel like that's a lot better. Although, let's do the Dunbrock corridors on each end of this. We'll see how that looks. Like this, and that. I had 3 on each end, like that. Whoa. I think I inverted the, yeah, I did invert the corridors. We had one of these on each side of this, so... Wait. Huh? What? I did half of them the way I did before, and I did half of them the wrong way. How do you manage that? There we go. And then I had myself confused for a second there. I was like, what is going on? Okay, that should be a lot better. Why am I on top? One problem, though, is you see that this corner is kind of jutting out. So I don't know how I'm gonna... Should I just have an open space in here when I get it filled in, or what? Alright, that looks really good, though. I will say. Well... You see, I want to fill it in like this, but I also kind of want to put... some braziers in here from the Dunbrock stuff. I feel like that could look really cool. But then I'll have to use some path creators to get the walls filled in. Or will I? Because that looks cool. Because now...
I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. But I feel like I need to... I gotta fill it in somehow. But you see how the problem now, right? There's like half a block, but I need to have a block here. I can't merge them. I need to do something like this, you know? Wait, what if I... The path creator trick could work,
Yeah,
or I could try the
see it.
trigger area. Let's see, where's the upper... There it is. Will it work like that? It will not work like that. Alright, so the trigger area glitch doesn't work. We'll try the path creator glitch. Nope, doesn't work on that either. Okay, so... yeah, so I can do that, or I get rid of these. And fill it in with this. But then, the problem still remains, because you still have that little gap. So I might just... actually... I may have just solved our dilemma. Let's go back to dungeon. Okay, we solved the problem from the outside. And it looks pretty good from the inside. You just have that little corner sticking out, but I don't hate it. Because... can I... can you explain to me how this is not allowed? I mean, that would be cool. I understand why that's not possible. This? Really? Really? That's so stupid. It should let me do that, dude. And we probably won't use that, but I was actually thinking of using this rock for the Jedi Temple. Actually, I might have. I just don't remember where I put it if I used it. Okay, so this is allowed, but this isn't? Wait, that goes out even further. That doesn't make any sense. They're just trying to make me bad now. Does the Asgardian one work? It does, but that's not the one I want to use. Wait, why was that on fire? That was probably from the Asgardian one. Well. Fine. We'll leave that out for now. This might be something. It's a little cartoony for the aesthetic we're trying to go for. And I kind of want one to be like diagonal, but you can't really do that. So, that's a shame. That's kind of cool. Just doesn't fit the right texture. Huh. That... I mean... that looks cool, right? But it just doesn't fit with the theme, you know? Alright, so I'll have to use either the path creator for the blocks, or use a more complicated method of getting those braziers in. Because I really want those braziers. And the more complicated way is by using the repeater. But then you'll have to basically do the trigger area glitch, and then set up a logic connection with the trigger area. It's just easier to do with the path creator. But if you use the repeater method, you can delete the repeater after. You won't have to keep it. With the path creator, you'll have to keep it in. Because if you delete it, the thing attached to the path will just go right back to where it was. So you don't want that. Wait a minute. Let's say if I could... No. Okay, let's not do that. I want to use these tikis, though, at some point. Okay. Just running some scenarios through my head here. Dang it, dude. Come on. Why does it have to be like that? Okay. So, this looks really good. We're probably going to keep this how it is. It's even centered on the map right now because we put it directly over the spawn point. So this won't be where you load in, but it will be like the center of the dungeon. So that's cool. We'll probably have the entrance like here or something. So let's get the floor put in. Pretty sure that's centered. Let's take a look here. Of course, the floor is going to match the wall, which I don't think I like that. However, I do have an idea. Which I can't do yet. Alright. Let me put this back. Now I can move it. Let me move it down a block. Let's go to the Disney Castle set. That's way better. You guys see that?
January 2026 can't come soon enough.
Absolutely. There's so much to be looking forward to in the next, like, 6 months. It's crazy.
What in the Rocket League face with tears of joy?
Yeah. I don't think we need that corner. Well, let's see. Can we peek under the corner? We can, if you really try. So we don't need to cover that up. We're probably good leaving it how it is. Okay, so that's good. Now you'll notice this is hanging off by half a block. That's kind of a problem. Especially if we want the floor to end when the corridor does. So, what I'm gonna do is, well, that's, ooh. Okay. Let's take these outer edges out. running this through my head real quick. Because that wouldn't line up with... Actually, it would. Okay. But then we'd have the same problems we had with the walls. So what I'm probably going to do is just have... those like that. I went to the right, not the left. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now to solve this half-block problem, notice how I was able to layer the Disney Castle floors with the basic blocks. That is precisely how we're going to solve this problem. And actually, I measured it out perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. I'm going to place these down, turn it, place those down, turn, place, turn, and last but not least, can't forget to turn. So now, we have this. A perfect transition into the corridors. This it's meant to look like a dungeon. Right now it just looks like a castle. But aren't dungeons just underground castles? Thought-provoking questions by Shard Collector. The true philosopher. No. But yeah, I'm really liking this so far. Now we just need that sky changer. So we'll put that in. Just to test things. Properties. 3.0. Syndrome, Sinister Takeover. We'll see how this looks in the medium altitude. The center room is a little too bright for me, honestly. So this will probably be an upper level. So am I. This is awesome. Let's do the Scottish Highlands, the Dumbrock Sky. It just looks like a castle. It looks like a castle. This feels dungeon-esque, kind of. This is just a castle hallway, is what this is. And like we tested out earlier, I don't like this room when it's textured like the Dumbrock stonework. I just find it to be a little too symmetrical. Even though that's a little symmetrical, that actually makes sense to look symmetrical. Because they're actually like bricks and stone. This is just kind of like pebbles. It kind of looks like. They're more pebble-like. They're smaller stones. So they don't... I don't think they should be symmetrical. These, though, that makes sense. That's perfect. Then again, we can also... I guess I think it's in 2.0. Yeah, it's in 2.0. You can still see the walls. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just got an idea. Okay, we're gonna turn the lights back on. Actually, before we do, let me test out one more sky. I do like this idea, though. We're probably gonna go with this. I like it with the hallway. Don't like it that much with the main room. It does have a certain atmosphere to it, though. Then again, it feels like there should be something here, but we'll put those braziers in a second with the path creators. Or... No, we're going to do the repeater route. I don't think I've ever had the repeater route on camera. Of course, all the other Infinity content creators have shown it off before, especially Brown Bat. But let's go back to the default sky once again. And let me showcase what exactly I have in mind. I'm going to extend the floor by three blocks. And then I'm going to change the default texture to Dunbrock again. This time I'm going to take inspiration from that one hallway or gateway that I've shared in the community tab. I believe myself to be a genius. We'll come back to this.
I don't know why, but this whole building a dungeon thing is giving me Bob the Builder vibes, face with tears of joy.
Oh, I'd imagine. Do I want to stick out? Or do I want it to cave in a little bit? 'Cause I feel like having two on each side would be a little too narrow. Okay, first of all, don't get yourself lost, Shard.
Emmett from the Lego movie, hello Master Builder.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't love how it sticks out that much. So that would look pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of these walls for now. I did it again. Did these stick out farther than the other ones? No? Maybe a little bit. You don't really notice them though, so either they stick out too far or they are too far in. But you kind of see what I'm trying to do here though. felt like this was a little too bland. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, maybe not. It felt like that was a little too bland. I felt like there should have been something in there. So I'm trying to like space them out a little bit and put something in. Maybe I have the corridor spaced out wrong. I don't know. We're just kind of experimenting though, but we'll see. We shall see. Oh, maybe this is where we can use the, Oh. I actually kind of like that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Some might be going right. Okay, so ignoring the top part here.
Musical notes, we shall see musical notes.
Yeah. So ignoring the top part, those vines coming in like that, that looks really good. Let me actually try to raise it up just a little bit more. I feel like that's too high up though. Let's put them all in and then we'll see. Yeah, you really don't notice them. However, this is the trick that I don't see a lot of people using. I don't think a lot of people know about it, honestly. Wait a minute, can I do it with... Okay, I can't do it with that. There is a way to move things down half a block. You just gotta be very, very sneaky about it. You gotta do it with these. Specifically the half wall pieces. Like this. So, see how I could just do that? That's what I wanted to do with that fence piece at the start of the stream. We're gonna do this, flip back to these, and we're not gonna move it, we're just gonna place it down. Because the second you move it, it goes back up. But if I go back, and do that 2 more times. And then exit out. We get merged inside the thing. That's not what I wanted to showcase. Alright. There we go. That is what I wanted. That's precisely what I wanted. That is so good. That is giving underground dungeon vibes right there. You get like vines coming from the walls, you know? So then, and only then, can we get our other detail in. So that's going to cover up it. Oh, that actually kind of looks like a helmet. That's not intentional. That's kind of a neat aesthetic, though. We'll probably just go with these then, if that's the case. Do something like that. Well, I don't know. The tiki heads don't really fit this hallway very well. We'll probably put them in a room. As a matter of fact, I think I have an idea for that, but we'll probably get into that at a later time. Kind of getting into my Halloween idea. So we'll leave those on the back burner for now. Let's see. Let's go back to the Dunbrock section, get those braziers, see if we can put them in. Oh, the tikis were past the braziers. Alright, so we gotta all the way back now. Because I was too far gone to turn around. Almost there. Right here. And they stick out too far. And these will merge with the wall. And I'm already moving them at half a block. So you can't move them at a quarter block. So they just kind of have to stick there in the middle of the wall, which we're not going to do. These have the same problem. Okay, so we'll probably just fill this in with a wall then. We'll probably just put some textures on it.
I give this so far a October 10th.
October 10th. I love it. Okay, but looking at the... See the borders of the actual Dunbrock arches that we're using? That looks really good. But something should go here below the vines. You know, there's not... Anakin, turn your saber off, dude. Turn it off, bro. Thank you. I feel like there should be something here. So I like this design better than this one. Because this one's good, but there's not enough going on, I feel like. I feel like this has a lot more to it. You know? I like that a lot more. But something needs to go here, and I am determined to find that something. It wouldn't happen to be in... Oh, wait. Hold. Hold. What if? No, there's not enough green here to make that look good. The rest of this is just gray. If you just had green foliage on the wall, it just wouldn't make much sense. Because even that, at the ceiling, it's got a little bit of foliage to it, and it's not green in the slightest. It still fits the color scheme of the rest of the... Wait a minute. Okay. It's weird you can't put that underneath the wall there. That's really strange. Okay. What if... Well, you're really not gonna see this, are you? I mean... Okay, you can kind of see it, but if you're not looking for it, you aren't gonna notice it. I might as well just cover it up with the same basic block texture as the Dunbrock stonework. You know, simple but effective. Glue it like this. There you go. It'll just fill in that gap, because we're going to change the corridors on the other sides. Once we figure out what we're doing with this one, it should be pretty easy to do the rest of them. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, you can't even really tell that there's any space above the vines, you know? That looks pretty good. Maybe I do just leave this open. I don't know, it's kind of growing on me, just leaving it out like that. Is there anything in the Dumbrock section that I can do? What? Wait, hold on. Does that look good? Kind of. Sort of. But then it feels like you should be able to sit something on that, but you can't, you know? 'Cause that's not how this game works. I like it, but I don't know if I'll keep it, you know? What do you guys think? Because it fills
This
in
looks
that
good,
gap
honestly.
that we need, but I feel like it's a little much. But I still like it. I don't know. Hmm. I think we'll leave it. I don't know what else I'm going to put there right now, so. Alright. So let's get the shape of the other corridors done. Alright, so it goes dumb block, basic block, walls, basic block arch, dumb block arch, basic block arch, walls, basic block arch, and then dumb block arch. Okay, so delete. No. Well, yes. Hold on. No. What? Delete that one. Okay. Okay. There we go. That's good. Do that. And that. I didn't want to do that, did I? We want to keep that one. Alright, so now we need these again. Oh, that's cool. It juts out of the floor. That'd be cool for like a bridge or something, you know? Wait a minute. Okay, so there's those. Okay, that's the orientation we need. With the rotation we need. We'll just put them in while we're here. Huh? Wait. Wait, then why? That's the same arch as this one. What's wrong with... What? It's tangible. Why can't I merge it with this one? Can I merge it with the other ones? What? What? Why? Why can't I merge it with the outer ones? That makes no sense. I like it, but what causes this? This shouldn't be possible. That looks really cool, though. I wish I could do it with the other ones. Why can't I do it, though? This is, like, even weirder than the, path creator thingy that I did. Like, I don't even know what could have caused that, because the other ones don't do that. I didn't do anything special with this one. So what happened? What's going on here? Makes no sense. Okay, so those are put in. Now I just gotta put in the rest of these things. These things. Okay. Takes a while to get these in, isn't it? Or doesn't it? Okay, it's like 11 tabs over is when you can... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. It's like clockwork. Whoa. Okay. Almost like clockwork. Until I said something. There we go. That's the last one. Okay, now we just need those walls put in. Okay, but I can put these in. Why not the why not the walls? What? Okay. So those are done and put in. Sucks when you get cast out, you know? There we go. Oh yeah, that looks really good on all sides. I'm definitely getting Zelda vibes from this. Alright. So there's that. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. And we have the corridor design down. And some of the main room. Okay, I really want those braziers put in, so we're gonna have to move these corner pieces out of the way for the time being. Alright, before we do anything else though, actually. Alright, let's check out that sky now. Okay, you can see the floor. See a little bit of the high-rise, I guess you could say. You can't see the vines, so if we use this sky dome, all that detail would have been for nothing. So we're probably not going to use it here. Unless we want it to be hidden detail that's only hidden until the final phase. Ooh. I really like that.
It's kinda like the Mario games where the hidden exits and everything.
Yeah. That's another idea, actually. I'm kind of thinking about doing that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Dude. Like, even, you can see the rock wall of the volcano on the other side of that corridor, but it doesn't look like a rock wall. Well, it does. But it looks like it's part of the dungeon.
This
But
is
it's
so
not.
cool, honestly.
Like, this is exactly the kind of aesthetic I wanted. Like, this isn't Disney Infinity anymore. This is... This looks like a completely different game.
This looks so Zelda-y, if that makes sense. Face
Yeah.
tears of joy.
I mean, holy cow, Link. You're gonna have a tough time going through this dungeon. Oh, dude. I'm gonna have... Okay. So your suggestion about, like, kind of piggybacking off of Ninja Meme's idea, how it's gonna be like a collectathon, we're gonna have enemies roaming the corridors. Just strolling down the corridors, and you're gonna fight them.
Inputs from the community tab comments.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm using every single one of your ideas in the community tab. All four of them. Your two, and then Ninja Meme's idea, and then Ami's idea. Yeah, so we're gonna have like these guys roaming down the hallways. Or. Okay, these guys would be adorable. It'd be hilarious. Although they don't fit the dungeon's aesthetic. I was thinking we could have the Rhino guards strolling down the hallways. Because they look like castle guards, you know. That would kind of fit, you know. These guys look too noble to be roaming around guarding a dungeon, you know. So either the Rhino guards or the bears. You would imagine this thing charging at you from a dark, claustrophobic corridor. That'd be freaking nuts. We're just having these little guys just floating around, you know? So yeah, we're gonna have enemies like that roaming around in the dark. That's gonna be Really cool. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do the pitch black sky for this section, and then it'll turn to this sky when we get to the later parts. So that's gonna be cool. We're not gonna put in the enemies yet. I'm gonna do like the creativity toys and stuff. I'm gonna, instead of doing a wave generator, I'm gonna have individual enemy generators like this, and I'm gonna hook them up to a locator. Kind of like I do for the enemy wave generators, like how I did for the Ultimate AI Battle Arena. Because as you know, the middle team, their wave generator is like up where you hit the buttons on the targets, but they spawn down below because I have a locator down there. So that's how that would work. So I'm going to have those enemies spawn in specific locations, depending on which enemy it is. So that's going to be cool.
Nice.
Let's see, is there anything in the set pieces we can use? That would be for like an exterior thing. We won't be using that in here. We could theoretically use this for like sound effects, so I could put it above the... Oh.
I tried to make my idea as differently as possible, but I
Yeah.
feel like my idea came out really good.
Absolutely. See, if we go in this corridor here, you hear that? Listen real closely. I'm gonna shut up. That is awesome. Just hearing the evil laughter echo down the hallway.
Whoa,
It's
with tears of joy.
It's kind of like in the original Zelda, when you're getting closer to the boss, you could hear the like a dragon scream the closer you get to the room. Dude, that would actually be sick. I think I'm going to use that when we build up more of the dungeon. I'm going to put those bridges in above the corridors.
Do I get extra credit? Teach face with tears of joy.
You know what? For you, I'll allow it. Absolutely. So yeah, this is probably the most aesthetically pleasing toy box I've built in a long time, and like, it's gonna be so cool. I have so many ideas. I'm just popping off. And you guys' ideas are amazing. So this is going to be a really good toy box. This might actually top Mustafar. I didn't think it was possible. This might actually do it. And we're not even into like the actual main rooms yet. We're just doing the hallways. If the hallways are this exciting, imagine the rest of it. I am so hyped. So hyped.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so instead of, because like I said, the center room won't be the spawn point, this should be in the center instead of the spawn point. That's too big. So yeah, probably this. I did go to use this for the Yoda and the Lost Temple toy box. You'll see like the prototype, like the test video, but I took it out for the final thing because I couldn't get the logic connections to work. Because it says when it's opened or closed, you can actually hit different buttons and get the force field to go away. For some reason in that toy box, I couldn't get it to actually like turn off the force field. I did both different sides of that logic connection. I even flip-flopped them around because I thought I had them wrong, and it just wouldn't turn off. So I just had to scrap that idea. If I actually figured out how it worked, I might actually use it for this, but I don't think it fits the aesthetic too well. But that's a scrapped idea that I had for the Jedi Temple toy box. You know, I might do an overworld toy box where you like have to go into the cage of this thing, and that would like fast travel you into the dungeon toy box like this. That might be how you enter the dungeon. That'd be kind of cool. That's what I did for the Xbox 360 save file, because I had my own dungeon. I think I showcased on stream once.
Honestly, as cool as Mustafar was, this might be been cooler.
I agree. Like, I didn't think I could top that, well, first of all, I didn't think I could top Mandalore, and then everyone agreed that Mustafar topped Mandalore by a long shot. I didn't think I could get any more detailed than Mustafar because I was actually trying to recreate Mustafar one to one or as closely as possible. But this, like this, we're just pulling this out of our brains, you know? We're just making this up as we go, and it's already way more detailed than Mustafar ever was. Hey there, Bowtie Guy. I gotta show you what we've been cooking up. Like, we're just doing the corridors right now, and we're already way more detailed than we ever thought we'd be. Like, look at that. I am so proud of it. This doesn't even look like Disney Infinity, honestly. I want to put the Dumbrock braziers here from decorations, so I'm going to have to move these corner pieces out of the way. But I am so proud of this. And I have such big plans for this dungeon. Like, it's not even funny.
Hello, Bowtie Guy.
This is crazy. I'm looking for set pieces to put in the dungeon just in case, but I don't think I need anything from here. I did have an idea a few minutes ago. When we get more of the dungeon built up, I'm thinking about putting these above the corridors. And you might be thinking, well, you're not going to be walking on the bridge, so what's the point of having them there? But if you remember, there are sound effects with this bridge. And just imagine you're going down the dark corridors with enemies just roaming the area. And then, wait, which corridor did I put it in? Okay, I put it in the wrong one. But this kind of harkens back to The Legend of Zelda, at least the original game, because the closer you got to the boss, the more sound effects you heard coming from that direction, like a dragon roar or something. You hear that? Almost pitch black dungeons with glowing enemies roaming the hallways, and you hear this. Anytime. Come on.
I guess my idea with the enemies fits so perfectly.
Absolutely. Come on, do it for me. It's always it's right when I want to show it off, it doesn't do it. There we go. It's kind of that evil laugh. I was in the wrong corridor. I went the wrong way. Okay. You get my drift, though. Here, let me go to the other side. There you go. Even the creak in the floor, which is supposed to be like wood, it still sounds really good in this dungeon. It kind of makes you think there's like a centaur down here just galloping around. And I am planning on using either the Dumbrock Bears or the Rhino Guards, or maybe a combination of the two, just to roam around the dungeon. But we're going to put those in for sure when we get the rest of the dungeon built up a little bit more. But that's my general idea of what I want to do with that. I could put it underneath, but I feel like it would be more convenient for me to put it on top. But we'll have to keep that in mind for later, because that's a really, really good idea, I think. Is there anything in here?
Genius.
Yeah. I'm super excited because, like, I've wanted to build something like big in Disney Infinity since I was working on Mustafar. Because I'm like, after I build Mustafar, what else am I gonna do? And after I put that video out, I was like, it's a hit. People actually love it. They like it more than I do. And I was like, how am I gonna top this in the future? But I think we're about to do it, honestly. I don't think there's anything from this that we need. That would be kind of cool, but there's not going to be any water in this dungeon. We have selected pieces from building sets group 6, 4 possibly, and then 3. This kind of fits the aesthetic now that I think about it. We could use this to get to the entrance. So that's a maybe. This is a maybe. This we used for the upper areas. We actually used a technique to move these up or down half a block. So those are actually on half a block height. The way you do that, just to reiterate, go to the platforming toys and go to the half block tall ledge hangs, and you can go up or down one block, and as long as you don't move it, you can switch over and place it down. The second you move it, it'll zip back up to the top or wherever you had it at first. But that's how you can place things at a half a block. Or if you could attach it to a path creator, you can do it that way. But that's a good way to save yourself from having to use another path creator. Because Mustafar had a lot of path creators, and I actually still have them. I might try to update it or something to where I just use methods that don't require path creators. But yeah. Okay, so this Sky Dome we're going to use towards the very end of the toy box. This will be like in the later phases. It'll actually be a different sky when you enter and as you're going through. But we're going to turn this back to the basic sky once again. And we're going to take the sky changer out for now. Okay. Now let's put those braziers in. Let's make the default dungeon. We'll get it selected on our editor. Okay, just do that, I guess.
How big will you build this dungeon?
That's a good question. I don't really have an answer for you at the moment. We're kind of going to build it like we did for the obstacle course last year, which was featured in the Christmas event. We just kind of had some ideas for rooms, and we just kind of strung them together until we ran out of space or ideas. And it was pretty big. We used up most of the meter. And I think that obstacle course takes you about 12 minutes to walk through. Well, probably 10 minutes if you're fast. So yeah, it was pretty big. We're probably going to make this a decent size. Probably not as big as that, but of course, most of our focus will be on detail. And maybe logic connections. I don't really do a whole bunch of logic connections. Like, I don't really tamper with visual effects. And I definitely don't do camera angles because I tried to look up the tutorial on how to use the camera tools. And that tutorial that I found was like 38 minutes long. And I'm like, dude, I'm only going to build for like 20 minutes. I'm not going to sit here for half an hour, almost 40 minutes, just to figure out one tiny thing that doesn't probably need to be in the toy box to begin with. So yeah,
Room above with an entrance to the dungeon.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I was thinking about doing a separate toy box, kind of like an overworld, where it's kind of like you go through a ravaged village, you go through the wilderness, and then you come across the tower fort, excuse me, and then you go into that little gate you see up front. It opens up, and then it gives you a prompt if you want to enter the dungeon. It'll probably be like a toy box door that'll take you to the dungeon itself.
8 minutes like in the previous stream should have been a world record low.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Because the first stream we did tonight earlier, we didn't even get to this toy box yet, and then the game froze. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we were looking for the repeater. Creativity Toys. It's in this mess of an there we go. No, not the repeater, the replayer is what we need. There we go. Brown Bat loves this thing. I prefer... It's a little complicated for me, so I try to avoid using it whenever I can. But it is useful sometimes. I will give it that. Okay, so we'll go back to the wedge block here. We'll hit record. Go to this.
Going back to talk, there is one thing I forgot to mention. How long does it take to 100% the game?
Oh, a few hundred hours. It probably only takes like 10 hours to beat the story. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So then, let me go back to the Creativity Toys. Go to the trigger area. Yes! Yes! We did it! That's the repeater trick. And then, you can get rid of that. I'm not going to risk deleting the braziers.
The dungeon is real.
The dungeon is ultra mega real. And there you go. And that is how we got the braziers in here. That is exactly what I wanted to do. Perfect. All right. So now, let's save it before we continue. Don't want the game to crash and then we lose all of this. Even if it has a save file, it probably won't. Or autosave, it probably won't save the whole thing. You can probably see my other work in progress toy boxes and some other. They seem to have finished titles, but they're actually not finished toy boxes that you guys obviously haven't seen before. I came up with a few ideas for some toy boxes a little while ago, before I made Yoda the Lost Temple, because
The fireplace sound for the fire pits.
oh yeah, that'd be something. Then you use like 3D audio from the sound generator. Lion wanted me to upload my save file for the Toy Box sharing database, like he does for all of us Toy Box creators. But I counted up how many I wanted to upload, and I had an odd amount. It was like 7. I was like, I don't want to upload 7. I want like 10. You know, 10's a solid number. 10's probably a lot, but I think I have 10. So I counted up all my toy boxes. I was really reaching for some, and I came up with the number 9. I had 9 toy boxes. I'm like, it's a pretty good number, but I want 10. So I was like, all right, Lion, give me a couple weeks. I'm gonna build up a toy box. It's not gonna be as detailed as Mustafar was, but it's gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be good enough that you guys are gonna want to play it. So he's like, all right, we'll build that. We'll get something made. We'll put those together. We'll get the save file done. We're gonna get it out. So then I went to work, and it took me 3 days to come up with the idea of Yoda and the Lost Temple. Before that, I wanted to build an Imperial City. Basically like New York City with some Imperial integration. Not Imperial influence, where there's like Star Destroyers in the sky, or like an Imperial base in the city. I wanted there to be a city that merged with an Imperial city, basically. It's kind of like every building was an Imperial base, but also had a more day-to-day, everyday life kind of function. What you see right there in that thumbnail is as far as I got before I just lost my idea. So now I was like, all right, I have City Speedway, which is a big city racetrack. I used all my meter space to build it. What if I made another racetrack? What if I made it in like a treehouse? Maybe kind of like Endor. I haven't seen anyone do a Endor toy box before, or an Endor racetrack, until who was it? I think it was 72 Pringle. Someone did it for the Star Wars event. They did like a bunch of racetracks in the Star Wars universe, and Endor was one of them. But I wanted to build not per se a Star Wars one, just kind of wanted to take place on Earth. that right there is as far as I got. I kind of wanted to race through a forest, and then I kind of wanted to go inside a massive tree and then come back out. I didn't get very far on that one. And then I wanted to build a dockyard, part of a city, where you have like a train yard. You kind of get like storage, shipping containers everywhere. You have some ships that are docked, and then you have like a bridge where you can like drive cars or something. Or maybe I could use that one from Toy Box Takeover with the octopus, something like that. Also lost my idea pretty quickly, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna recycle an idea I had on my Xbox save file and kind of get like an undercover Jedi temple that was completely forgotten about. You got to use the Force to get in. It's got a little trial or something to it, and that's it. And that's how I got the idea for Yoda and the Lost Temple. So yeah, there's a few toy boxes that I started and never finished because I ran out of ideas for it. This throne room toy box is actually for the opening scene of Battle of the Heroes Reimagined, that video where Vader's having that mental breakdown, if you will. That's where that takes place. That one's not going to be uploaded because it's pretty simple. You know, it's what you see is what you get. This is coming soon. This one's a little ambitious, so I'm taking a backseat on that one for now. But the dungeon, this one we're going to be building live together. I'm taking you guys' input. This one should be done within the next 4 months. I am planning on doing at least one video for it. I'm going to be doing a playthrough, and if I can, I'm going to revisit this for the Halloween event with some special rooms that I add later. That's just my plan right now, but that's like 4 months from now. But yeah, little peek behind the curtain. Okay, let's turn these bridges off, actually. Is there... not that. Is there a property menu for this? There are not. Okay. I mean, I guess I don't need to turn them off right now because I saved the toy box with them on. If I reload, will they be off? Let's find that out. That's perfect.
Because if everything doesn't get saved, it's gonna be quite something.
Absolutely, because we have spent an hour, it's almost 2 hours, but we spent like an hour and 20 minutes getting the idea for this and building it up. So yeah, that'd be it. 80 minutes down the drain if it didn't save. So it's not a super long time, but it would still hurt quite a bit if we lost it. But yeah, it looks like everything works perfectly fine. Let's see. I have some ideas. I'm going to reuse an idea I used for Mustafar to light up the hallways a little bit. So we're going to have lights underneath the hallways, and we're going to have the Sleepy Hollow Bridge on top for atmosphere, lighting, and sound effects. It's going to be the full production. A lot of smoke and mirrors going into this. Okay, you can already see how good that's going to look when we turn the lights out. Okay, let me go to the set pieces and actually put in those bridges now, because I need the full effect. I need the full effect. Oh, this is gonna be so good. So good. Okay, a little sneak preview there. Okay, so... yeah, so I had it right. The right alignment. No, spoilers! 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 We're not doing that. Okay. So we're gonna flip it to the pitch black sky, which is in 2.0. Scroll down a little bit. All right, there we have it. Go down here. We're gonna turn on the braziers. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This does not look like Disney Infinity at all. Okay, I can hear 4 laughs at the same time. I don't think that's completely necessary. Oh, that's so cool though. Look at that.
This looks like a totally different game.
It does. It genuinely does. Okay, you can't even tell the corridor ends right there. It just fades to black. That's so cool.
Fire, 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 fire.
Absolutely. I love this. I'm making a playset, guys. This isn't a toy box. Okay, what if I... Alright, I'm gonna save it. If I load the toy box, will the Sleepy Hollow bridges be synchronized? Because I'm pretty sure the sound effects are on a timer. That's my hypothesis. We're gonna test it. Because I placed them down pretty rapidly, but I didn't place them down at the exact same time, obviously, because you can't do that. That's physically impossible. But I think I heard the laughs at the exact same delay as when I placed them down. So, theoretically, if they all load at the same time, the laughs will be synchronized, and you'll hear it from every angle, no matter where you are, even in the center room, where you could hear all 4 of them at the same time. Pretty much the same time. Oh, loading in, that was cool. Okay, I did hear the one off to the left.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, they're not synchronized. Okay, that's too bad. But dude, I love the aesthetic here. And to think this isn't even gonna be the entrance. This is gonna be where you get like the sword. Yeah, so I'll probably... He's excited. You can tell he's excited. Okay, instead of having one above each hallway, what if we just had it above the main room? I just got goosebumps. And this is with the vanilla textures. Imagine if Brown Bat modded the textures on it. Like if this was in Brown Bat mod and we had enhanced textures, this would be even more realistic. Like this would be unreal even. Okay, that's kind of that's kind of uncanny right there. It's a little freaky. It is. So what if I put lights below as well as above? I'm just lining up the circles here. That's not aligned. There we go. Does that work? It kind of does. You can kind of see where the, that's a weird shape. That's the, what is it? those are the vines that we see the almost hexagonal shape to. Or is it? Is that what we're seeing? Whoops. It kind of makes it hard to see what you're looking at, and I kind of like it. That's... Oh, it is. You see the hexagonal top of the vines. They're very angular. And it's kind of cool. It kind of gives them a unnatural feel to it.
Dungeon mixed in with Legacy Wars montages like how we did for Draken and Divox. It'll be
Oh,
the best
yeah.
thing ever.
That would be the best thing ever. I'd say if you're not really paying attention, you really can't tell that the hallway ends here. I mean, if you're looking at the floor, you can kind of tell, but based on the walls, if you're just going like this, I just about stepped off. Like, that's crazy. And you can only hear the laughter when you reach the center room. That's actually pretty ominous, instead of just going throughout the hallways. So that's even better than our original idea. So that's what it looks like from the top. That's pretty crazy. Wait. Can I put it on a path? No. I'd say, what if I put it above, like in that little in-between area? Because I'm pretty sure it will fit. I don't know if it would stick out through the crack of the vines,
So cool.
but if I was able to get it in there, then I might be able to light up more of the hallway. But yeah, this is probably the most ominous dungeon we're gonna build here. Yeah, like this, it looks sci-fi looking at it from this angle. That's crazy.
Trigger area.
Ooh, yeah, the trigger area. If that doesn't work, I'm pretty sure I could do it with the replayer. But that would mean I'd have to delete all of those pieces in there, and I don't really want to do that. Alright, so we're going to make this a pretty wide area. Nope. Okay. Well, I'm not going to take out half that corridor to put in the replayer, because if it works, and I actually like it too much, I'm going to want to do it for every single one here, and that's going to take up way too much time. So we'll probably leave it like this. Yeah. I do like the kind of small light it does on the ceiling, so I'm probably going to keep it. But yeah, imagine.
We are about to reach the 2-hour mark.
Heck yeah. Okay, I'm going to put in that sky changer so we can turn it back so we can see everything. Did I already put the sky changer in? No, I was about to. Okay, we'll probably leave the sky changer down there for now. So that's what it all looks like, all lit up. That's so cool. Okay, just for future reference, what does this look like with Syndrome's volcano? It already looks cool and we're not even in there. Oh. Wow. That is awesome. I don't really like how bright it gets down below, so I might move those lights down another block, which means I'll have to move the terrain down another block. Let's not do that again. Let's see how that works. Because I had to move it down a block to get this floor from the Disney Castle set. It looks like it still lights it up. It doesn't look like it changes the area of light. So it might not even matter where we have this thing. I'm going to move them all down, though, just in case. Okay, it does look more gentle. Oh, yeah, you don't see me lighting up completely anymore. Just a little bit. And you still get that atmosphere, because you still have that light right here. Okay, I see. I see you. Let's set this on the ground again. And we'll put in the properties pitch black sky one more time. Because I want to see this in the dark. Can I make that jump? Barely.
The no checkpoint idea
Oh.
in this dungeon.
I believe so. I think I have an idea for that. Okay, I actually like this even better. Because it's very faint light. And you can still see your character lit up in certain areas. This is the most realistic dungeon I've ever seen. There are the goosebumps again. Okay, he's excited too. That's awesome. So yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll have the checkpoint either in front of or right on the start point. Of course, you can't merge it with the start point, but I'll probably have a... It depends on if it lets me put the locator on the start point. It does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a locator down on the start point. I'm going to set up a checkpoint. And this is just a test here. I'm going to set it out here. I'll put a kill switch here. I'll put a trigger area here. And I'll put a trigger area at the end of the hallway. Alright, so... Dang it. There's no locator connection. Wait, there's a path connection though. Why would there be a path connection instead of a locator connection? Don't you want the player to respawn on a locator? Wouldn't that be a smart idea? Okay, so we can't do that. But what I was going to go for is I was going to have the player hit a trigger area. The checkpoint would be set for that player. They would die, and they would go to that locator where the checkpoint was connected to. But it looks like I'm going to have to just merge the checkpoint with the spawn point, which is totally possible. It's just not the way I would have gone about it personally. But if that's what we have to do to get the you die, you restart kind of thing, that's what we're going to do. And it's not a terrible way of doing it. It's just not my preferred way. Okay, so that looks really, really good. So we're going to do it like that. All right, let's change the sky back once again. We're still in the hallway. We're done with the hallway, but we haven't quite gotten to the main rooms. I wonder... Does this look good? Okay, it's right there. Alright. Not do that. Well... Well, I mean... I want the gate to be right there. Dang. I feel like I could do it. But I need a path creator or replayer. Because I was thinking about having rooms on each side of this room. The one where you go straight is the one you're supposed to go down, but if you go down the other side, it's like a trap. I want there to be like a gate to close on you when you enter that room, and you gotta fight like a mini boss, and then the gates will open. In typical Zelda fashion. But there's no good way to get that gate to come down. Because I wanted to just put it off to the side, like, put it next to these. But as you just saw, there's like a couple blocks distance between the end of the corridor and the gate itself, and there's a bit of an opening.
Can't express just how good this is.
So you can kind of see that it's going to be a trap. So I kind of want to merge them, but like you have to merge it with these two. But that's my idea. We might have to scrap that, but it's a neat concept, I think. But yeah, I can't wait. This is going to be awesome.
I am honestly glad I was able to make it to see this awesome masterpiece.
Yeah. This is really good. Alright, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And each block is
Sorry,
2
have to go.
moves
Amazing build,
down.
dude. Can't he wait for the rooms?
Yeah, thanks, man. We'll see you next time. Could do it like that. If I move it like this, it's an odd amount. I'll have to do it like this. I mean, that looks kind of good, but you're going to see that. So I don't really like that. Unless I blocked off the whole thing, like if it's all encased by walls, I can do that. But I don't know if I like that too much. Because I want to do a spiral stairwell. Like this. Of course, it's not aligned properly. Okay, so we're not going to go with that one. We might go with the farm ones. Okay, that looks more promising. Let's just build that spiral up again. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. And it's more compact too. Wait a minute. Could I
See ya, bow tie guy.
do something with this? Ah, dang it. You can see a little gap in between. If there wasn't a gap there, I could have used that as like a wall. Maybe I could have used that for this, you know? Instead of the basic block wall. I mean, I still could, theoretically. Let me move this out of the way. It doesn't look good from the outside, but we're not going to see from the outside. From the inside, that actually looks pretty good. I like that. But it's very clean, wouldn't you say? It's very clean stone compared to the grungy, moss-covered stone of this. So it's kind of a tone change. I do like it with the vines, though. It does kind of meld well with that. But ultimately, I think we're going to leave that out. It's a neat concept. We'll probably use it earlier on in the dungeon. But for now, we're going to leave it out of that. I feel like we have enough detail in those corridors for now. So the stairwell could work. Do I want something in the middle? That's the question. Do I need anything in the middle? Okay. So instead of it being by 2 blocks, it's 3 blocks. So can't quite do it like that. And that's also 3 blocks. Although I can do something with this terrain block. But the question is, what do I do with the terrain texture? Because I don't think there's any, like... Is there stonework here? That's not the right kind of stonework we want. And that's more rock than anything. That's rock. That is not what we need. Also rock. That's more of a tree. That's brick, but you really can't tell, and it's a little bright for what we're trying to go for. That's cool. We will use this texture like deeper down in the dungeon, but we won't use it here. That's just dirt. This is red brick. That's like lava rock. Okay, it's just rock in this case. With some larger pieces of terrain, it's like there's some lava in there. I don't think there's anything else in here we could use. That's also red brick. That is not what we need. And I don't think there's any... Wait a minute. No. No, not that. I don't think there's any power disc themes that we could use either. Well, okay, so we probably won't have the stairwell like immediately. Let me look at some more pictures. Let me get some inspiration here.
This dungeon honestly made me speechless just by how good it is.
Yeah, and it's just those corridors too. We need the actual rooms. That's what we need right now. Oh. Oh. Okay. I see you. I see you. Alright. I have an idea for some of the main rooms. We might do it for this one, just to make it, like, consistent. But definitely for this one in particular. We are going to, what was it? There it is. Okay. You're gonna love this. Okay. That doesn't look as good as I thought it was going to. Wait a minute. You're telling me there's not a completely flat version of this without the lines? Because, like, with this, you have the actual basic square block, and then you have the one with the line through it. There's no basic version of this? I would have put two of them around here to make a cylinder. That's not what I'm looking for. That's almost what I'm looking for if it just didn't curve towards the top. This is what I want. Why is this not a basic block? Did they forget about that? Did they forget about that shape? Would they have added this in 4.0? This is what I wanted. That's the closest I can get to that. That's not what I want. I want to make a very wide version of this. You know? Well, that's disappointing. Basically what my idea was is go to my latest community post and go to image number 4. And those pillars along the walls, that's what I wanted to recreate, basically. But those basic blocks don't exist, so I can't do that, even though they should. Ooh, wait. Ooh, this looks cool. Huh. Alright. This might be something we could work with, maybe for the room leading down to the corridors. That'd be something. Okay, I might take these out after all. Let's go to the decorations again and see if there's some statues that we can do.
It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, it's just not exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, imagine some walls like this. It's not tall enough, but if it was, that'd be something, you know? Actually, instead of looking for statues in here, because I think we went through the whole thing, didn't find many, aside from the tikis. The tikis, actually, that might work. Okay. So instead of that, alright, let's save it again just in case. I'm pretty sure we did make some changes. We at least changed the sky. Yeah, we did. Okay, so we'll save that. Let's go into an interior toy box and check out the decorations we have. Because there may be some statues that I might be able to smuggle into this toy box and place down. Now, if we're going to use the path creators, we want to put in the decorations before we put the path creators in. We haven't used any path creators yet, but I suspect that we'll use it at least once. Load toy box. Let's just go to my interior. I don't think I actually have other interior built. I don't even think I've messed with that on this save file. This one though I have. All right, let's see. Well, I mean, that'd be cool. In the dungeon, right there, the guest gatherer. I don't think it has the same effect that it does in this. Attracts townspeople and guests. I don't think it actually does that in the main toy box. I think it's stripped of its abilities. We'll have to test it though. Let's hope that it doesn't work in the main toy box for once. Is there anything we can hang on the walls in the rooms of the dungeons? Gotta be very specific. I think that's a no. Well, I mean, if we wanted to get graphic with it. I mean, we already made a very realistic dungeon, so might as well, right? Oh, some of the masks on the wall would be something cool. Some wall change would be neat. Oh, okay. So we're kind of cooking with this now. We've got some ideas. But I'm looking for statues right now. Okay, that seems to be it for that. Seating and beds. I don't think we need any chairs. Well, a throne would be cool. I think Bowtie Guy recommended a throne room. We might do that one. Well, this one probably fits the dungeon aesthetic more. I mean, this one I would say would, but it actually has like thrusters on the back, so it's like too futuristic. So probably that one if we're gonna go with like a throne room. Just vibing to the music. And a townsperson imitating Michael Jackson. We don't need any of that in our dungeon. There's some floor splatters. We could put a battle axe on the floor and just cover up the outline with a basic block. Windows, we don't need any of those. Accent and decor. This might be where we find our statues. Oh, well, I don't like the lighting. It is, actually. These wouldn't fit a dungeon aesthetic very well. What does he want? He just said, hey. He's like, what? This would kind of be cool. Kind of get, like, the helms and weapons of fallen barbarians going to, like, raid the dungeon. That'd be kind of neat. This is probably only, like, 2 blocks high, though. So we'll have to figure something out with that. Maybe, like, lower the ceiling in some areas. Have a Jabba the Hutt statue as an Easter egg. Kind of cool. Frog Thor. That'd be something. The Great Stone Dragon, have a couple of those scattered throughout the rooms, through the dungeon. Oh, get these in like a vault in the room. That'd be cool. Get the little treasure and stuff. It's a dungeon after all. They might have hidden treasure in there. Guarded by traps. Get to the boss room, there's like an organ or something that plays when the boss spawns. That'd be something. Oh, put this on a table. Yo. That'd be cool. Have these with the masks on the wall. Have a worship room, have a treasury room, have the boss room. That'd be cool. Really cool. Infinity Gauntlet. Raven statues, that'd be cool. I keep saying that'd be cool, but like, it is true. That would be cool. That's a little too futuristic. It does kind of give off like a medieval vibe, but it's Star-Lord, so it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like sci-fi. Ursula's Cauldron might be good for the center room. think they're intrigued. Darkhold. The Book of Ashanti. You gotta love the townspeople, man. Okay, I don't think there's a couple statues we could use from this. Not a lot, though.
Alrighty, my guy, sorry I couldn't stay for long, but
Let's
I
go, man.
gotta head out. I hope you have a good rest of your day / stream and see ya in the next.
Yeah, catch you later. Okay, so we have some options of some decor. Table to cabinets, creativity toys. Okay, so I think we've gone through our options. We have a few statue options, and I did come up with another idea for another room. It would be really cool if this was able to be put in the toy box, but it's just a customization, like, retexture. So, that won't be an option. Okay. So let's go back to our dungeon. And I'll put in the method to get the interior toys into the main toy box. I don't know if we'll put any of the directions into... I can't talk. I don't think we'll be putting any of the decorations in on this stream. We'll probably have to build up the, at least the bones of some of the other rooms before we do that.
Let's get this done.
But I really like what we've done tonight. This is awesome. Okay, so what we need is a toy box door. That's in gameplay toys right here. We'll put on the back side of the Sky Changer. This will be all of our technical stuff. Let me use Spark Mode to get in. Alright, we'll do this. Properties. Destination. Import a toy box. That's not the right one. Link an existing toy box, even though it's not... Okay, that's not what we need either. New toy box then. Interior. And we'll just do D for dungeon. Require confirmation, locator tag, nope, okay. That's good. Let's go in here. We'll get the logic set up for that. We'll do the exploit. We'll go into the main toy box. We'll save it. Okay. We need the trigger or a button, something like that. And we need a time delayer. There we go. That's how you get interior toys into the main toy box. Just gotta let it build itself back up. Ta-da! And then we just save the toy box. That's all we have to do. All right. Man, this is awesome. Okay, we've been live for 2.5 hours. I don't want to run this game too long and then it crash on us, so I'm probably going to shut things down for the night. I don't know the next time we'll be live. much less for this. But I really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys did too. So keep an eye out on the community tab for announcements on the next stream or the next video, whichever it may be. Until then, this is Shard Collector signing off. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you later.